Justin Fields has revealed the truth on joining the New York Jets as he spoke out recently in an interview on why he wanted to sign in New York with the New York Jets to be the first quarterback for this new regime with Darren, Mougey, and Aaron Glenn, and the truth behind all of his decision-making process and how this backs up exactly what we would expect out of this new Jets regime, and we're going to break all of it down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you're part of that 73% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, this is the place to be for all New York Jets news. You guys do not want to miss out, so make sure to subscribe. We're making videos on every single signing that happens. But let's jump into the video, guys, because we have a lot to talk about. And the sooner we start, the sooner that Matt and I get to go back to watching March Madness. And by that, I mean the sooner Matt and I get to go back to having a fist fight for fun. But let's jump into the video, guys. But real quick, guys, I'm super excited to announce that we are kicking off a March Madness bracket for the channel. We've partnered with the Hot Takes app and other digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. Just download the Hot Takes app, click the March Madness banner at the top, and then under groups, select the Digest Media Pool. This is really exciting as there's over $25,000 in prizes to be won, and since there's a much smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance in winning big compared to other bracket challenges out there. Check out the link down below or scan the QR code to download the app, and make sure to use the promo code DIGEST in all caps to get exclusive perks when signing in. Again, it's completely free to sign up, and if you have any trouble, feel free to email us at the email down below, and we look forward to seeing you in the March Madness pool. It is not too late to join the March Madness bracket because, guys, there is a second chance, and also be sure to download the Hot Takes app as it is a great place for all your sports needs. But let's jump into this, guys, because we do have a lot to discuss with Justin Fields, the new Jets quarterback, who said that number one reason why he joined the New York Jets was Coach Aaron Glenn, saying, "I've played against him early in my career. I know how passionate he is about the game, the way he coaches, the game his players play. So I think that was the biggest thing for me." And on top of that, he said that our relationship playing against each other means a lot because Detroit, of course, they've had a lot of success the past couple of years. So for Glenn to want me here is definitely an honor, and I'm going to put it all on the line for him and do all I can to help this team be successful. Now, we recently learned that, well, with Justin Fields, the Pittsburgh Steelers did want him back and made an offer that contested the New York Jets offer. But when it came down to it, Fields opted to sign with the New York Jets. And one of the reasons is because he did effectively get benched for Russell Wilson 6 games into the season once Russ came back from an injury. A lot of the Steelers players did not want Justin Fields to get benched. They liked his leadership. They liked the energy he brought to the team. And the players liked having him as their quarterback. So Aaron Glenn and co, they saw this and understood that it would be a good idea and it would fit the culture and the idea of playing where you want to be. If you want to be a Jet, you will be a Jet. All of it fits in exactly with the personality who the Jets went for, and fits in with the mantra of the Jets basically saying, we're not going for players only, we're going for personalities. So all of this aligns exactly with what you'd expect.
So I see a lot of Jets fans are getting worried that the new head coach that we brought over from the Detroit Lions has not brought over any free agents or players from the Detroit Lions. And they're thinking, is that because they didn't like playing for Aaron Glenn and that's why they're not coming to the Jets? I think it's because Darren Mougey isn't interested in the players from the Lions. But this is, right here, this is evidence of Aaron Glenn actually getting a player to come over. Justin Fields said he wanted to play for Aaron Glenn after he didn't play for him, but he saw how he operated, and he watched him on the other sidelines. So he knows what kind of coach Aaron Glenn was, and that made him excited to play for him. I don't think the reason why the Jets have not picked up any Lions has anything to do with Aaron Glenn not being a good head coach. Based off everything we've seen, it looks like he was the second best coach for the New York Jets in free agency behind, I would think Ben Johnson would have been a better pickup, but he wasn't interested in the New York Jets job. So maybe you could argue Mike Vrabel would have been a better coach for the New York Jets. Personally, I think with Aaron Glenn being so excited to be the Jets head coach and being so proud to be a New York Jet, I think it makes more sense for Aaron Glenn to be the head coach of the New York Jets over Mike Vrabel, because Vrabel, of course, already had those connections to the Patriots. And, maybe the Patriots do have a better history than the Jets, but there are arch nemesis. We don't want anything to do with them. Aaron Glenn, Maybe he hasn't lured any lines over yet, but guys definitely want to play for this head coach. They know he's a head coach who's going to tell the players like it is. He's going to treat them like professionals. He's not going to talk to them like they're kids. He's not going to talk to them and tell them what they want to hear. He's going to tell them what they have to hear. And he's going to tell them the things that they need to hear and coach them up in the ways that they need to be coached up to become the best versions of themselves. And that's what's going to help the New York Jets the most going forwards. We're looking at Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey going out and making these really low risk, potentially high reward signings. These are guys only coming on for a year or two, really low money, but Aaron Glenn is going to see what he can make from these guys. He's going to see if he can help these players become the best versions of themselves and become long-term starters for the New York Jets, or at least high-quality depth pieces, rotational pieces for the New York Jets offense and defense. And I'm excited to see what he does with this team going forwards.
Absolutely. And I think it's really a good thing to see that, well, yeah, he didn't specifically bring his own players over, but part of that is also those guys were happy with the Detroit Lions. They just had a wildly successful season that ended a bit prematurely, and they want to come back and right that wrong. And on top of that, you look at the way the Jets have been making these moves. They're doing essentially what the Detroit Lions did in their first year. The Lions weren't able to really rip guys out of certain situations because obviously it was a lot different, but at the same time, the Jets still are a team that have not made the playoffs in the last 15 years. You're not going to get a bunch of players who are instantly lining up to play for them. The fact that you got Justin Fields, a guy who's lining up to play for the Jets, is a good sign. It's a good sign to have people who want to be there. And on top of that, exactly right, Aaron Glenn's not going to treat these guys like they're children. He's going to tell them exactly what they need to hear and how to be their best selves. And that's worked with the Lions. And I think one of those things is when people say that, you often feel like, oh, well, is he just going to be this hard-ass coach that no one wants to be around? Absolutely not. You see that people love Aaron Glenn. I mean, Dan Campbell, obviously the Lions head coach, said that whoever gets Aaron Glenn is going to be set for the future and that he's a phenomenal coach who deserves to be a head coach. And a lot of the greats, they don't want to be coddled. Most of them don't. They want to know how to be their best selves, and they're going to, for the most part, trust their coaches on how to do that. I mean, what do you think? Like, let's say Sauce Gardner, who does a little bit of jersey grabbing, let's say he does something that causes a penalty for the Jets. I'm just picking Sauce Gardner because he was the first name that came to my head. This is nothing against Sauce at all. But let's say, say Sauce commits a penalty or something. And if Aaron Glenn blows up at him for it, Sauce isn't going to be like, oh no, does Aaron Glenn not like me? Like, no, that's not going to go through his head. He's an adult. Like, he's not going to be like, oh no, I got yelled at. He's going to be like, oh, I have to do that better. He's right. I understand that. If players can't handle having a coach who's going to yell at them and try to make them all their best selves and make them a cohesive unit, while also Aaron Glenn has been known to show that he's always got his guys' backs, he's just not going to rub their backs while he's got them. It's going to be this situation of everyone is going to play their best football, and it feels like Aaron Glenn is that exact mix. He's excited to coach these guys. These guys are excited to play for him. And the fact is, Aaron Glenn's a defensive coach. And as he said, he's going to coach the offense just as much as the defense. He's going to be a football coach, not a defense coach, as he said. But at the same time, you see a guy like Justin Fields, who obviously is going to be more with Tanner Engstrand because he's the offensive coordinator and all that. But you look at it, and if you have offensive players lining up to play for Aaron Glenn, imagine the defensive guys, and imagine how much this could help moving forwards once the Jets get this thing under control, once everything starts to make sense for the Jets, and once they start to show this culture. You're going to have great players who want to go play for Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets.
That's a great point, that last point you made. I'm sure there are players right now who are interested in the New York Jets, but they're afraid of that 15-year playoff drought. They're afraid of years like last year where 5 games in, our owner completely blows up the season, pulls the plug, firing Robert Saleh after only 5 games. They don't want to be a part of a season like that. But if the New York Jets can show that they are moving in the right direction, they're in New York City. They have a large market, and players are going to want to be a part of the group of players that were able to turn that team around. Just like what we've seen with the New York Knicks. Now that they're becoming a popular destination for players, the Jets can do the exact same thing.
And the Knicks also started with culture. It was the same thing. It was this culture that built up.
Exactly. It's sometimes you got to pick either, the culture building players or the good players. In basketball, you kind of got to build the culture first, because in basketball, players take longer to develop than they do in the NFL. But fortunately, we're not going to have to wait as long as the Knicks did if we do it right. The key being if we do it right. Watching every single one of Aaron Glenn's interviews, it definitely looks like this is a leader of men, someone who's going to get everyone in the locker room on the same page. We're not going to have any more of those Elijah Moore stories where the team's finally looking like they're turning a new page and he goes, oh, I want to trade because I'm not getting enough targets. Like, absolutely sick of those types of players.
That didn't work out for him.
I mean.
That did not work out for him, dude.
Dude, I am glad that they're putting together a roster of players who actually want to be on the roster, because I'm just, the Jets, our history is sad enough. If there are players that are going to be problems in the locker room, like we don't need locker room problematic players making stuff even worse for us.
Absolutely not. I honestly really like the way that the Jets have tried to build this culture, and though the roster, it feels like it's going to be the opposite of last year, both for better and for worse, where it's like you look at the Jets, you look at what they are right now, not even where they are, like you literally look at what the New York Jets are right now, and what it feels like is it's going to be the opposite. It's not going to be a roster full of all these talented names. It's going to be a team. How last year the Jets were a roster, not a team. This is going to be a team, not a roster. Yeah, you're not going to see the flashy names of the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, CJ Mosley's, if you go back another year, the Dalvin Cooks and all that of the world, where you're finding these guys and you look at the roster and you're like, well, this is a Super Bowl contender. Why are they not as good? Now we're seeing the opposite of, well, this is a young team with a bunch of unproven players. Why are they playing better than expected? And it's because they're building this with a team-first mentality instead of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I'm excited to watch this, Matt.
Yeah, Chris, the situation you just described where we're looking at how many games the team's winning and we're going, how are they winning this many games? And we're pointing to the coach, looking at how he's coaching them up really well and getting the most out of a roster that shouldn't have that many wins. That's something that I'm sure all Jets fans have to be on board for after the way the last couple of years have gone, where we've had a good roster, but it is just given us absolutely nothing playoff success-wise. So I do think Aaron Glenn is a coach who can turn that around. When we signed Adam Gase, we both said this guy is not going to turn anything around. So I wouldn't sit here and lie. I thought we hired a bad head coach who wasn't going to be able to work anything out for us, I would sit here and say it. I'm not afraid to say something that's going to go against the grain, but believe me when I say Aaron Glenn, definitely a coach with a highly realistic possibility to be the savior of a coach that the New York Jets have been looking for.
Absolutely. And I think on top of that, we all know that you're not afraid to go against the grain with the Justin Fields and Jordan Travis analysis. And, well, I happen to agree with you on both of those. But I'll be honest, Justin Fields' comments do make me excited for this NFL season. I can't wait to watch this team. I shouldn't be this excited to watch a Jets team that's going to win, or is projected to win around 5 games, dude. I'm thrilled.
Are the Jets wins over-unders out yet? Do you know about that?
I have no idea if they are. We're doing it live. Not live. Sort of live, I guess.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back to that in a later video, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, slide into Matt's DMs, and inform him of all the milk that we're going to put in his car. Guys, have a great day, and go Jets. Almost said go Knicks. And I didn't stop recording the video because you know why.